Welcome back, everyone. Part of going on adventures is getting ready for those adventures, and while it may not look like it now, we had some snowfall just a few weeks ago and it's got me itching for ice fishing. So today I'm going to get the ice fishing shanties out. We're going to check them, see if any mice got into them over the summer or this fall, and then we're going to go inside and we're going to spool up some new lines on all the ice fishing rods, and I'll show you a quick trick on how I spin those up real quick. So I invite you to join along today and check out and see if we have anything we need to get ready for ice fishing. Well, so far 2 for 2 and no mouse poop or holes in the bags yet. This was the one last year that had a mouse hole in it. I haven't seen in it yet. I had to pick it up off a shelf above my head, so who knows. Alright, so it doesn't look too bad. I haven't opened it up yet, but I put a package of mothballs in there. I think there's like kind of, some people think that works. Some people say it doesn't, so we'll check. But I don't see any poop, and it smells like mothballs. So we'll check it out. Well, there's the mothballs. Hey, that's a win. I don't see any issues other than it stinks, so we'll have to let it air out. But looks like the first shanty's good to go. I might kind of lube up the joints because it gets real squeaky, but I did that last year and I think I'm good to go on this one. So yeah. Yeah, I'm really stoked. I really thought there was going to be a mouse in this one. All the joints are pretty much squeak free. I think we're good to go with that one. I don't think I need to do anything. We're gonna let that air out. All right, let's try the small. So this is so for those playing along at home, that's a Frayball, or excuse me, that's a Shappell FX100. It's kind of my go-to when I'm out by myself or going just on my weekends with my dad. That's kind of our go-to. The hub is kind of nice, and it's just me and one of my kids. Don't look like there's any mice in this one either. Hate it when they get caught up like this. Something's not right. I think if I remember right, one of the posts, the stitching's out on the bottom, so you got to put it back in. Alright, let's take a look here. Yep, just like I thought. The stitching's blown out on the bottom of this one, so you just gotta like shove it back in the pocket. Might see if Mrs. Outdoor Adventure Channel can figure out how to stitch that back up for me. But that's a good little one for just like 2 guys or a guy and your kids. And now for my big boy. See how this one works. don't know why it does that all the time. They get caught up on each other, and then it's like a little rope-a-dope here. You do one side, the other side pops in, the other side pops out. I think you got it. All right, everything looks good in this one, man. That's I'm super excited. That's 3 for 3 on the shanties. I don't know, what do you think? I need another one, don't I? I'd love to have another flip, like a 2-man flip, but then I feel like I need a quad or something to pull that. But man, I'm stoked. That was easy. We'll see if the power auger is gonna run, and we'll start working on the rods, and I'll show you how I quickly spin up line on there. I got a little trick that works for me really well, especially when I got to do like 8 lines. So all right, for those playing along at home, like I said already, the Shappell FX100, the single man flip. You have the Clam Tamarack, that's an older one. I'm not sure they make that anymore. And then the Eskimo is a Fat Fish 949, not the insulated one. I kind of went with the non-insulated one, and honestly, with my little buddy heater, I've just got the single pane one. Heats it just fine, especially with 3 or 4 guys in there, and I'll put 4 grown men in there ice fishing, no problem. So I would like the double wide one, but honestly I can't justify spending the money for the double wide one just because I would get used maybe 2 times a year. I've already got 3 as it is, so just take the other small one, set it next to it, and we can yell at each other through the thin fabric anyway. So all right, enough talking again. So let's get the auger out and see if that's gonna run. All right, time for the beast here. Sometimes, you know, we get a little overzealous at times, and I bought the 10-inch auger, and when we're spooling up the lines, I'll tell you why I bought the 10-inch auger and not the 8-inch auger. Long story short is, I wish I would have got the 8-inch auger. And just getting the blades or the augers themselves are still kind of expensive. So, and it's just got a massive head on it, so not the best for carrying around, but she drills a big hole, that's for sure, for all the big fish I catch apparently. All right, let's see if we can get her to fire up. I tell you, what a pain. All these safety gadgets and stuff on cans these days. Jeez, I end up spilling more just trying to get the stupid thing to work. One pull. This is too easy. Way too easy this year. I know the blades on this are not even a season old, and they're not rusty. Check them out anyways. Oh yeah. Good to go. This auger's good to go. The hand auger, I'll have to check that, but I think that one should be good to go as well. All I gotta do is put some line on and wait for some ice. Alright, well, I've had this little hard case for my rods and reels since last year. I was a little apprehensive about it because it's big and bulky, but I went with the classic. I was always doing the 5-gallon bucket and shoving all my rods in there, but as I continue to ice fish, I get more and more rods for, you know, different things, and just having different presentations ready to rock and roll when things aren't working, because I hate retying out on the ice. So this has been nice. It's a little big and kind of bulky, but I'll show you what I got in here, and it's not everything, but so it's kind of nice. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rods in here, and I can get them out of here without really tingling the lines too much. It's really not an issue at all. And then the sides here allow me to put in like additional bobbers and leaders, and over here I've got all of my tackle as well for when I do or feel like I need to switch out the line, I can. And that's just the 8 rods here. I've got 3 more rods on the wall over there. One is my wife, 2 are my kids. I've got, I think, 4 tip-ups, 2 ice scoopers, the hand auger and all that fun stuff. I'll do a quick pan on that. So it's a bit of a mess over there, but everyone's barn's a bit of a mess. So anyways, I'm gonna pull these out and I'll show you why or how I rig up my lines. So yeah, we can start on that. Okay, well, hopefully the audio is okay. I switched over to a different microphone since I'm right here. So let me show you what I got. First off, I always go with the Trilene cold weather. I tell you what, this has just been great for me. I've not lost. It's not snapped on me. It's come untied, but that's more my fault. But for the most part, I go with 4-pound test. I do have a 6-pound and an 8-pound for specifically for 2 of my rods, just because on the rods I use on the automatic icer fisherman, those are more for pike and larger fish, so I'll put a larger pound. Most of my jigging's on a 4-pound, and I bought a 2-pound this year. I don't know why, just because. And then this year I also wanted to try some ice braid on one of my larger rods, so we'll get that one tied up. But I'm going to start with one of my favorite rods. Let me grab it here. So my favorite rod, bar none, is these Ice Blue Pro. This is a 26-inch ultralight. I love this for just jigging. The ends are really sensitive. There's high vis orange on it. I tightline most of my stuff, so I don't know. I just really love this rod. I've got 2 of them, and if I ever go somewhere and I see that they have these ones, I immediately pick up another one. So first things though is I gotta take off what's here, and then I'm going to unspool all the line, and then once I do that, I'll show you what to do next. All right, all this line has got to go. All right, well, I've got the line all off this one, and what I'm going to do is I made this little rig here. It's pretty simple, just a couple pieces of wood. I've got a wing nut, a bolt through here, as you can see. Just kind of drilled a hole and jammed it in there, and then on the other side I've got a bolt here, or a wing nut rather. And I'll unspool this. I take these washers, I leave one washer on, and I've got 2 washers here that I'll put back on, and this just helps for them to slip, because I had the problem without the washers. If I put this wing nut on, sometimes it would grab and tighten, and when you do this, it ends up tightening and pulls the whole thing and creates all sorts of problems. So I'm going to put the 4-pound test on this one, and I probably put on way too much line, and I'm definitely going to need more for all, what did I say, 7, 8, 9, 10 rods. So going to need to get a lot more. So I put these on. So I guess it's worth noting, whatever way, you can put it on whatever way you want, but I have it so that the line is coming off the top right now. So basically when I pull it, it's going to pull this way. All right, we'll get that wing nut on there, and I don't tighten it down. I just want to keep it from falling off. And then the trick here is to have an old shaft that from a rod that, or excuse me, a reel that broke before. So this is one, and I kept the cap because of the threads on here will be the same. I left. Let's see if I can get this on camera worth the darn. All right, so what I did was, let's see if I can get the camera to focus here, is I left the little spacer on, the gear that makes the clicking sound for the drag, and I put a little bit of JB Weld on there just to hold it in place. So now I use this as my shaft for reeling up the spool. So what I'll do is I'll put this in the drill, And I'll show you here. I put that on. I'll set the clutch on my drill pretty low just in case things grab. And then what I do is I take the spool that I'm looking to reel on here, get it on there, use the cap. Now it just so happens that the one that broke is the same as this one, so everything works very nicely. I do have one spool that doesn't sit on here correctly. And it's more issue with the cap, and usually I just have to finagle something on that one. But other than that, that's my setup. So I'm gonna have my line come off here, go onto my spool, and then I'm gonna turn this, as I'm looking at it, I'm gonna, like I'm tightening, I'm gonna have it turning to the right. And I usually put it on the slow one. Not really sitting very good, kind of wobbling on me, but all right, so I'll get you down here a little bit closer, maybe you can see this better. All right, so hopefully you can see that better. I'm going to take my line and I'm going to tie it onto, the spool here. And I like to come over top, kind of loop it around. I know you're not going to be able to see me tying a knot here, but if you need to learn how to tie knots, then go find a knot tying channel. All right. I left my pocket knife in the house, so I got my box cutter here. All right, so now I've got it. I know you probably can't see that. This is just a 4-pound test, but I've got it so that the line comes up over top and loops onto this. And now I'm just gonna manually guide the line back and forth until I feel like I got enough line on there. And that's it. That's pretty much the method I got, and I'll show you how simple it can be, especially when you got 10 rods to do. You got to come up with an efficient way, and no matter what, with these spinning reels, if you try to put it through all the eyelets on the rod and then try to use the reel to spin, you spin all that line up. And I can show you at the end here that the line is not going to be all spun up. It comes straight off here and straight onto here. So, all right, let's get moving. All right, this wing nut's moving on me, and this is what my problem is it likes to spin, and it touches, and then the whole thing will come slamming up against it, so. Oh, and there it goes. So it's not a perfect method, but it's a lot better than hand doing it. All right, well, I think I got enough on here, because I want to save enough on this spool for another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it around, and I'm going to put it on this line catch here. And that's coming off. That's not very good line catch. It's about shot. And, all right, so now all I'm going to do is unthread this. Maybe. Pull it off. Now I'm going to put this back on the rod and reel it up through the eyelets. Simple as that. All right, well, so that's how I spool my lines up very simply. I have 9 more to go. I think I'm going to save the other 9 for tomorrow when Carson comes out here with me, and we are going to possibly do a live stream. So by the time you see this video, the live stream will be over. But anyways, and I think we'll talk about the auger sizes when we get out on the ice and kind of explain it a little bit better. I know I said I'd do it in here, but we'll do it out on the ice. So make sure you subscribe. If you watch this long to a guy putting shanties up in his yard and spooling up line, then you must have liked something. So give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell icon and make sure you click on that and go up to all notifications. That way you get an alert when I post my videos. It really does help me out. You know, the idea of this channel is really just something for me to do and with my kids and getting outside more. And you know, when you do that, when you subscribe and hit the likes, it tells me it's worthwhile and to keep doing it. I have some great feedback so far from some big YouTube guys that have made comments to me, and so that makes me feel good and makes me want to come out and do some more. So thanks again, everyone. Take care. We'll see you next time, and hopefully out on the ice or outside. Thank you.